Welcome to Kingdom Lions Oracle. My name is Marcus, and I have a pick a card reading for you today. Today's pick a card reading is, what is your High Priestess saying to you? So I have 3 decks here for you to choose from. I have Pile 1, which is the Urban Tarot, which is Tiger's Eye Pyramid. Pile 2, which is the Gilded Tarot, which is a Fluorite Pyramid. And Pile 3, which is the Intuitive Night Goddess Tarot, with the Citrine Pyramid. Okay, I'm going to clear your energies. I'm going to make 3 loud sounds. Okay. So now, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds or so just so you can choose your pile. Again, this is Pile 1 with the Urban Tarot deck. Pile 2 with the Gilded Tarot. Pile 3 with the Intuitive Night Goddess, Tiger's Eye, Fluorite, and Citrine. Okay. If you need more time, you can pause the video, take 3 deep breaths in, and make your decision. I'm going to start now with Pile 1. Right. Angels, spirit guides, ancestors, ascended masters of the light, please give me a good guided message here to let us know what our High Priestess is saying for us for our Pile 1s. Please give us a clear guided message for what our High Priestess is bringing to us for Pile 1. Okay. So first, this is the Yin position, which is 4 swords. Okay. So we have 2. So I'm going to put that in the Yang position. This is going to be your past. Okay. Okay. So we need 2 more. That's a lot. Okay. Angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, ancients, ancestors of the light, please give us a clear guided message. Okay, 1 more. I'll turn these all over. There you go. Alright, so the 8 places we have the Yin, the Yang, past, present. This is the environment. This is people of influence. This is your action and the outcome. So just to flip over some of these. Then what I'll do is I'll also go, we'll have some clarification and also do some oracle cards. Right? So in the first position, which is the Yin position, is the 4 of Swords. The 4 of Swords is a card of rest and relaxation. Okay? So 4 of Swords typically is someone who's had a long battle. They've gone through a lot. And they're just taking time to rest and relax and kind of build up strength and heal themselves. And so in that Yin position, which sometimes represents the mind, if you look in the Tao or if you look in Taoist principles, the Yin represents the mind. So maybe there's maybe something mental, or maybe you're questioning your actions mentally, and that's just something that you need to take some rest on and heal before you go forward. Okay. Now we have the next card, which is the Prudence card, which is the 8 of Pentacles. And this is in the Yang position. So in the Yang position, what this is saying is that you have to make smart decisions and keep working hard, and you'll be able to get to your goal, and you have to get to action. If you look at this card, you have a jeweler who's looking really, really hard into the details to look at the inclusions and to look at the diamond. And so it's, it's something that you have to look for. For you to unearth your diamond, you're going to have to take some time to work on it and look at the details so that you can get further into, what your High Priestess is telling you of what to work on. All right? So in the past, we have 4 of Cups, which is the luxury card. Okay. Now, with this 4 of Cups, you kind of just see 2 guys lounging, sitting, looking on the phone, watching TV. Now, with this card, Four, Four of Cups typically represents somebody who has an opportunity that's being presented to them from the universe, and the cups there in front of them and it's being presented to them. But this is saying that you have the opportunity that's there in front of you, and it's not being taken care of, and you can't cry over the spilled milk that's here. You have to just go forward. Now this is what's in the past energy. Now what's awesome is in the present energy you have the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is the opportunity of a new passion, new pleasure. In some cases it could be a new love, and this could be a new talent or a new skill that you may be able to take. And this is represented in these cards by the Ace of Pentacles, which is the Statue of Liberty. Right? So you have to take that fire that's pushing you, that's burning within you, and move yourself forward. Okay? Now, next we have the Seven of Wands. Okay? Now, this was in the influences. So in your outside influences, right now, you might have a lot of conflict, or maybe people are conflicting with you, or maybe people aren't agreeing with your actions or what you're doing. And in this Valor card, you see these people are picketing for their own rights. So this is a card of you having to fight for your own rights. Typically, a Seven of Rods is a person who's in a good position to protect themselves. So usually they're a little bit higher above everyone else, and they might have multiple people who are attacking them, but they're in a good vantage point that they're able to protect themselves. All right, so the next card we have is the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Rods. Now, the Three of Rods, this is people who may influence you. Now, with the Three of Rods, you see that this is virtue. Okay, this is a card that shows firemen. Firemen work hard to protect people from fire, so that the fire doesn't burn them. So with this Three of Rods, the number 3 is usually of creation, usually of putting things together and making them work in your favor. And so you may have to work with someone to be able to kind of unearth whatever skill it is or whatever power that you have that may be able to drive you forward and create positive things for you. Okay? Now, in the position, your action, you have oppression. So now typically the Ten of Wands is represented by a person who has a lot of things on their back. They have a lot of things that they're carrying. And in this card, this actually shows someone who's incarcerated. So you might feel like you're locked down. You might feel like you're unable to go and do the things that you want to do. Maybe you feel like something's holding you back. And so this isn't the typical Ten of Wands where the person is carrying a bunch of sticks on their back and they can't move and they have a small distance to go. This is saying that maybe you're feeling closed off, that you're feeling held back, and that you're not able to go forward and do what you like to do. Okay? So your action would be to get rid of this choice. The Ten of Wands, or the 10 of any card, is the ending. So this is the last, I guess, feeling of oppression that you would have. The good thing is you have the Ace of Wands here. And the Ace of Wands, this is in your present energy. Right? So your action, you might feel like you're oppressed, or might you feel like you're being held back, but you have that Ace of Wands to go forward to. Okay? Now, if you decide that you're going to go forward from the Ace of Wands after this feeling of oppression, what we have next is the Knight of Swords. Now, in this deck, the Knight of Swords is the King of Swords. Okay, so this actually is the game master. So you see that this person has a chessboard, and they've mastered everything, and they're getting ready to checkmate, and they've already thought 5 or 6 steps ahead of what to do to be able to win. Okay, so with this, you just have to think a little bit forward, have that forward thinking of what you may have to do to move forward and get yourself to your intended goal. Now, with the Game Master, this person has won the board because he's moved his pieces in the right place or put together a nice plan to be able to succeed. Okay? Now, I want to just clarify the cards here with you. I'm going to use the Light Seers Tarot just to give us some further depth on each. Okay? Alright, so Angel Spirit guys, please clarify for me, why do I have the Four of Swords? Okay. So the Four of Swords here is the Knight of Swords. Right? So if you see the Four of Swords, as I mentioned before, that's about rest. So you have this Knight of Swords, which in this deck is also represented the Knight of Swords. But this Knight of Swords is taking action. You see he's got his bow and arrow behind him. He's running right to a motorcycle. So this is bravery. So you can't be afraid of what the next step is, and you've got to step right into it and jump right into the task. This is after taking some time to rest and relax in the yin action. Okay. Oof. We have 2. Actually, we have 3. All right, so for the 8 of Pentacles, we have 3 cards. We have 7 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles, and the 5 of Pentacles. All right, so just to give a little bit in depth, Spirit looks like it gave a lot of message for this. The 7 of Swords represents being stealth, being able to put together a plan, being strategic about what you're going to do. Sometimes you don't want to let people know what you're going to do, because if they know what you're going to do, they might stop you for your next action. Okay. The next card after this is the 5 of Swords. Maybe you might have had regret, whereas if you see he has the crow kind of pecking at his head, and maybe you had decisions, or maybe you decided to do something that someone might have tried to influence it, and this is always on your mind, and it might have slowed you down. Now, the good thing is you have the 6 of Pentacles. The 6 of Pentacles is balancing. So you have energy that's balancing, and you're going to have enough money, or you might have enough resources, or you might have enough power to be able to make this go forward, and it's going to balance itself out so that you can get to the 8 of Pentacles. Okay. Then this 5 of Pentacles card, I like this because just like you had with the 5 of Swords, you know, this person's kind of looking down, they're not sure what to do. But if you see there's a door there with a key, and the key's on one side and the keyhole is there. So if this person just lifts their head and grabs the key, they have the key to open the door to go to what they want. So this is all in your mindset. Once you get out of that mindset of the 5 of Swords and the 5 of Pentacles, of feeling like you have lack and don't feel like you don't have enough resources, you'll be able to meet your goal. All right. So next, we're going to go to the 4 of Cups. All right. So 4 of Cups, we have the 6 of Wands. So the 6 of Wands, represents victory. So you see this person has a laurel, they're in front of the stage. So this opportunity that's going to be given to you is going to be something that you may be successful for. You know, possibly you might be a singer or a performer of some type, possibly a comedian. But this being with the 4 of Cups, that 4 of Cups, that opportunity that's being presented to you by the universe may be something that's beneficial for you. All right, so now I'm going to check on the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, Ascended Masters. Give us a card for the Ace of Wands. So we have the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is very intuitive. The Queen of Cups is someone who you could talk to, someone who's psychic. So you may have a passion for maybe reading tarot cards, or maybe being a psychic, or maybe even being a therapist of some sort, of talking to different people. But if you see this Queen of Cups card, this person is very in tune with their emotions. They're kind of letting everything flow, and they're kind of giving up, putting their hand to the universe. All right, so next, I'm going to check on the 7 of Wands. Okay. The 7 of Wands, this is for your outside influences. You have the Sun. Okay, so this is a pretty good energy here. So for the 7 of Wands, you have the Sun, which represents everything good. Things are shining. Things are going to go in your way, and it's going to shed light on things that you have. I would be positive. This is one of the best energies and most positive cards in the deck. So whatever you're in a good position to protect yourself from with the 7 of Wands, for the outside influences, the influences in your environment, the Sun is there for you, and it's going to be there to help you shine. Next energy you have is the 10 of Swords. So this is awesome because as you see, this person is walking away from bad things. They have the sun in front of them. They're watching the sun go down. So this bad energy, it's almost like saying there's a new day. So with the bad energy that was behind them, now they're going to go forward with new energy. Okay. Then you have the Magician. And this is wonderful because as you see, with the Magician, this card is saying that you have all the materials and all the power to kind of create and manifest whatever you're looking for. So with this energy, as you can see, they're kind of creating their own little galaxy there. And so that microcosm that you create, which is in your brain, which is first changing your thought process, the macrocosm, which is the world, you can have that effect by putting that energy out into the universe and manifesting. Okay? And then fitting the high priestess. So something says that you may get a download, or you might even know already what you need to do to make everything work and what to make everything to go in your favor. So you don't have to worry about outside influences influencing you. But this is really good. Okay? So next, for people who may influence you, okay? Nine of Cups. So Nine of Cups, for people who may influence you. Now the Nine of Cups is the energy of someone who is going to work towards their dream. This is the dream card. So you're going to get everywhere you need to go. Possibly you're going to have someone help you, possibly maybe one or two people, a fire sign, that's going to help you to get to your goal. But this Nine of Cups, you can see that they just left everything to the universe, and they're kind of happy just throwing everything up and letting their cups flow. All right. So now for your action, let's clarify for me. So the Four Wands. So this is celebration. So your action is going to bring you to a happy home, possibly buying a new home or possibly changing your location. But this is creating stability. When you think of if you think of like four walls or like the four walls of a castle, this is creating stability. And you see the people are happy, they're dancing and they're singing, they got the tambourines going, and everything is jolly. So from that oppression, this is a big change that you have here, the Ace of Wands, which is going to be your passion. This is your present energy. You're going to go from that oppressive feeling of feeling like you're being locked down to now the Four of Wands, which is going to be happiness, joy, and creating your own steady home. All right? Now for this last energy, you have the Knight of Swords or the King of Swords in this deck. Let's clarify the King of Swords. Angels, give me one card to clarify the King of Swords for our pile of ones. There we go. All right. So you have the Page of Wands. So pages usually represent messages. So for this section, the outcome, you're probably going to get a message that's going to give you a lot of happiness. If you look at this person, they're almost like a majorette throwing the wand in the air because they're celebrating, they're so happy. And so I would pay attention that you're more than likely going to get a wand message. Usually pages of wands represent younger people or someone who's like an initiate. So possibly from whatever passion or whatever thing you're looking to start, you may get a message from someone who's, probably a newcomer, or maybe even someone might give you a message that, a job that you're applying to is looking for someone to start and that you should apply. All right. All right, so I'm just going to give we're going to do two Moonology cards and also two Tarot cards for Oracle. Tarot Oracle. So first, let's see what the Moonology deck has to say. Which two cards? Alright, so we have... It's upside down. So we have Don't Let Your Past Hold You Back, which is the South Node. And we have Surrender to the Divine. So I think that this is fitting because you have the Queen of Cups over the Ace. Okay? And then you have good luck because you have the Six of Wands, and also represented by the Sun. You have the Ten of Swords, and you also have the Magician and the High Priestess here. And so surrendering to the divine, maybe taking some time to go out in nature, maybe meditate. The answer might just come to you. And again, with the High Priestess card, you might even already know. And if you see, it looks like there's downloads coming down, you might already know the answer or what you need to do. All right? All right, so let's get you a Tower Oracle card. Here we go. All right, so we have Deliverance. This is a number 40. Okay? Now, number 40 breaks down in numerology to the number 4, which is representative of the 4 of Wands, or the 4, which is the Emperor. Okay? So, energies you may need to work on, you may need to have to release. This is going to give you relief. Maybe take a fresh approach. Liberation from obstruction. Finding a solution and exhilaration. Okay, so you see this person, they're sitting in the storm. Now there's electricity there, and you see lightning. Lightning usually has to do with the divine changing your thought process or outlook. So it's similar to almost like the Tower card, but this one is a little more safe because of the fact that you're not jumping from a building. Okay. All right. So I want to thank you for your time. That's what I have for my Power 1s, and I'm going to get ready to do Power 2. Alright, so my Power 2s, we chose the green Fluorite. We're going to be using the Gilded Tarot deck. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same. We'll do 2 Moonology cards. We'll do 2 Tower Oracle cards. Alright? So we're going to start from here. Ancestors, spirit guides, angels, please give us a clear guided message. Okay. So first we have the Page of Cups. This is in your yin placement. What does our High Priestess have to say? We have the Lovers in the yang placement. Next we have Judgment. This is in your past energy. Oh, it's too many. But I have Queen of Swords already flipped over. That's in your present energy. Okay, so for environmental influences, okay, so we take we have the 4 of Cups in environmental influences, and we have the 10 of Wands in people who will influence you. Okay. We can do 2 more. This next one is going to be your action that you need to take. Okay, 3 of Cups. Okay, and the last one is just the outcome. Okay, for my Power 2s, let me have the outcome. Spirit guides, ascended masters, ancestors. Okay, the Hierophant. Okay. Alright, so my Power 2s, we chose the green Fluorite. So what does your High Priestess have to say to you? So the first you have is the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is in your yin action. Now the Page of Cups represents someone who's an initiate, someone who's possibly sending an emotional message. And this is also someone who's kind of beginning to get in touch with their intuitive side, and they're starting to be a student and studying the arts of intuition and the ethereal realms. Right? So possibly this is telling you that you need to meditate or maybe start a new meditation practice. You may even get an emotional message from someone or see something that changes you emotionally from someone younger. Pages are usually messages, or they're also representative of younger people, who represent this energy. So in your yang action, you have the Lovers. Now, the Lovers could be representative of love, but typically the Lovers also represents making a decision. So if you're High Priestess, if you're making a decision, your High Priestess is telling you that you have to make a choice. This here represents So on this card with the lovers, this person is making a choice. So this is Aries, this is Persephone. So Aries, he made a choice that he was going to, have a relationship with another goddess, which turned out to be destructive for him. And so this sometimes is when you have to use your head instead of your heart. You have to make that hard decision of whether or not you're going to make a decision to do something that's more spiritual or to do something that's more physical. Okay, so this represents a choice that you have to take. But for some people, this could be love, and this could be you finding that spiritual person that's connected to you. Okay. Now, in your past, you have the Judgment card. Now, judgment can mean a few different things. This could mean that you could be judged in front of a court, but judgment also is second chances, and this also, if you see in this picture, the guy Gabriel, is actually calling spirits, and he's bringing them back to life. So there might be a calling that you have. Maybe there was an old job, or maybe there's some old skill that you might have that is coming back to you, that you decide that you want to start working with that, or decide that you want to change your direction. But the Judgment card is calling you and is kind of giving you that second chance. Okay, the universe is speaking to you. Okay? Now in your future position, you have the Queen of Swords. Now the Queen of Swords is a person who's very intelligent. Queen of Swords makes decisions from experience. So if something bad happened in the past, they think about the things that happened in the past and they decide not to redo them because they learned from that experience previously. Now, as you see, there's 3 white birds in front of her, and there's 2 behind her, and there's a cat. Right? So cats typically are representative of your intuition. Now, with her sword pointed up, she's using her sword basically saying she's going to cut anything that's not going to serve her or anything that's not working for her. But she also has this cat that's looking up to her, representing her connection with her intuitive side. Now, this is representative of an air sign. This could be you. You possibly could be an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. You may not be, but this could also be part of your chart. Okay. Now, your outside influences, you have the 4 of Cups. Now, this person in this 4 of Cups is pretty unique. This person is actually looking at the cup that's being offered to them from the universe, so they're aware of what's in front of them. Now it's just up to them to reach out and take the cup. So in your outside influences, you might have an opportunity or a job or something that's being offered to you that someone may be able to provide for you, or maybe you've already created for yourself. Now it's just up to you to take advantage of the situation, go forward, and move forward with it. Okay. Now we have people who have influence. Now this is the 10 of Wands. Now, as you see that this person has a hard, heavy wood that they're carrying on their back. And you see that they're going through the woods and they're trying to look forward with these wild animals in the background and everything. So this person has been influenced, since this is in your influence, people of influence placement. You might have had people who have put a lot of weight, a lot of pressure, a lot of burden on you. The good thing about 10s is 10s represent the end. So this person, possibly a Sagittarius, is putting energy on you that you need to let go. So this is just letting you know that as soon as you put those wands down, if you see like this guy that's in the woods, he'll be able to just get out of the woods and get away from the wild animals and bring himself to safety. Right. Now your action is the 3 of Cups. So the 3 of Cups here, if you see these people floating in air, there's water flowing, everything, this represents your soul tribe. This represents the people that you get along with, the people who are close to you, the people who you'll be able to connect with and have no problems at all, being able to say how you feel and be the person that you are and be joyous. Okay, now if you look at the colors, you represent there's blue, red, and yellow. The yellow is action, that represents the solar plexus. The blue is the throat chakra, and the red is the sacral chakra. So this is telling you that you need to take action and you need to ground yourself more so that you can do your passions, which is the red, and you'll be able to speak up for yourself and be successful. Then in the outcome, we have the Hierophant. Now the Hierophant represents a few different things. The Hierophant can represent a spiritual teacher, This could also represent an institution. Say for example, you got a new job and you work for the government or the city, or say you work for, a lawyer's office. That could be our institution. This also could represent a relationship, marriage, or this could represent you following structure, whether it's religion or whether it's following a process that works. For example, some people, practice Buddhism, and they follow all the different things that Buddhism brings to them, the peace, following the Dharma, and things of that nature. So maybe starting that routine of following something that all the routine, how it will get you there, and you'll follow those results. But for my feeling for this is that you have to start your own process and kind of follow yourself. So I'm thinking that with all the other cards that you have here, okay, you have the Page of Cups, you also have the Queen of Swords, you have the Judgment card, and you have the Lovers. With those cards usually connected with this is showing that you might be a spiritual leader, or might need to find a mentor or a spiritual leader that will teach you further. Okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to clarify a little bit with this. Again, I'm going to use the Light Seer's Tarot. Okay? So we're going to clarify first for the Yin position, for the Page of Cups. We got one already. All right, so Page of Cups, we have the Ace of Swords. Okay, so the Ace of Swords, as you can see, there's a staircase that's descending, and there's energy coming to the brain. So this could be, again, you starting a new meditative practice, and maybe that meditative practice that you start gives you good ideas so that you'll be able to move forward with. Okay. I'm going to go to the Lovers. The Lovers is in your Yang action. Okay. Okay, so we have two. Look at that. Okay. So to clarify the Lovers, we have the Moon and the Lovers card. So this is funny because this definitely lets you know that this is either a decision that you have to take or a love situation. Now with this Lovers card, you can see there's the two lovers that are on top of each other. And then you also have the Moon card. Now if you see this Moon card, the Moon represents things that are hidden, things that you can't see. The Moon is out and it gives you a little bit of illumination that you can see in the dark, but in the nighttime you really can't see too much. You have on one side, you have the black dog, you have the white dog, and this represents the domesticated side of yourself and then also the wild side of yourself. So with those two extremes making a decision, so maybe possibly there's a person who's the wild side of yourself, and that's the person who you might choose. Or maybe there's the domesticated person who you might choose. Okay? So what is your High Priestess saying to you? You may know better. But this is definitely saying that there's something that's hidden that you're not aware of, that you're not sure of. Okay? That you may have to wait possibly within the moon cycles, and it will update you and let you know. Okay? So now we're going to clarify for Judgment. So in Judgment, you have the Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords is a card. It's about journeys. So this is a person who's starting a new journey. They might not know the destination, or they might be traveling, but they're not sure where the destination is, but they just want to make sure they get to a safer place. So, just looking at this, you might have a situation where you're in a relationship that you kind of had enlightenment that things need to either change, or you might need to be with a different person. And this is telling you to take the trip to get away from the person. This also could mean that the two of you are going to journey together, and things might be on safer ground. Now that you have the Moon also represented with the Lovers card. So we have the Queen of Swords. Let's clarify the Queen of Swords. Okay. So the Queen of Swords, we have the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. So now the Queen of Swords, as I mentioned before, is someone who's wise and they make decisions. So this next wise decision that you make is going to lead you to happiness, to a family. It's going to lead you to legacy. This is going to lead you to money. This is going to make sure things are stable and things grow, and that you have all the resources you need, and you're going to be able to have a happy, stable family for the decision that you make. And as I mentioned before, the Queen of Swords is someone who uses their intuition and they use their memory to make smart decisions. They use their intelligence. Not so much like the King of Swords, where they kind of just are cold about it. The Queen of Swords is a little more intuitive, more in tune with their feelings, and they think of the past. And that wise decision, a wise choice you make is going to lead you towards happiness and towards a family and legacy. Okay, so next we're going to clarify the Four of Cups. Okay, and this Four of Cups represents what's in the influences in your environment. Let me see what we have. Okay, so we have the Page of Cups. I'm sorry, the Page of Wands. Right? So the Page of Wands represents a message. Okay, usually this represents a message of something that's going to be an initiation of a new passion. So this could be a new person that you meet, possibly a fire sign, or this could be maybe the beginning of a flame that you feel for a new person. Okay, so with that Four of Cups card that you have, okay, the Four of Cups is the opportunities right in front of your face. And you see this person with the Page of Wands is throwing it up in the air. So hey, maybe they're just like, hey, you know what? Toss it in the air and find out heads or tails where it's gonna go. And that might be the best choice or the next choice for you. Okay, so next we're gonna go for the Ten of Wands. Clarify Ten of Wands. Please help me clarify the Ten of Wands. Right, so Ten of Wands is clarified by the Wheel of Fortune. That's unique because they're both tens. So that means that things are changing. That's going to be possibly beneficial for you. The Wheel of Fortune doesn't always mean that things are going to go well for you. The Wheel of Fortune really is more that the stars are aligned a certain way that things are going to change. And it could be beneficial to you based on karma and based on past action. But this is a good shine because this aligns with the 10. You have the 10 of Wands and you have the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune. So it looks like something really good could happen for you depending on your future actions. So let's clarify next. Your action, which is the Three of Cups. And look at that, another 10. So just from all the summation of these cards, this is the 10 of Swords. Sorry, 10 of Wands. So this is saying that you're at the end of the journey. So your action so that you can get to the Three of Cups is you're over and done. You've been carrying a lot of baggage. You've been dealing with the bull, per se. And you're all set. You're all done. So you might decide to go forward and do something different. From all the different cards that comes here, it looks like you might know already what you need to do. Things are kind of hidden from you, and you just know that you may need to go on a new journey to try to set up a new situation for a new love. The wheels are turning hopefully in your favor. So for there's 3 10s here, and so 10, 10, 10, that right there is confirmation from the universe that this might be the end of a bad cycle and that things are going to change. All right, so I'm going to go with the Hierophant. Right. Look at that. The Hierophant is clarified by the Hierophant. Now, isn't that amazing that you had the Lovers clarified by the Lovers in the Moon, and the Hierophant is clarified by the Hierophant? So, my intuition is telling me, and my High Priestess is saying to me that you may need to get out of this relationship and start a new one. Go to the end of this journey. At the end of this previous journey, things are going to go better for you. They're going to change. Okay? Take a chance. Start a new passion. Okay? So, from what it looks like, for my number 2s, my pile 2s, your High Priestess is speaking to you more about love in this situation. So what we're going to do is let's get some clarification. I'm going to pull some oracle cards for you. First, we're going to get the Moonology cards. Okay? So this already tells you give time rather than take. But I'm going to shuffle and see what we get for you. Spirit guides, angels, ancestors. Please give me some cards to clarify for my pile 2s. Please give me 2 cards. So 1. We have 2. Okay. So the first card, which is a pretty awesome, bring love into the situation. We are in Aquarius season right now as this is being recorded. And so, as you can see, the new moon in Aquarius, right? So bring love to the situation. Maybe you need to pour out your emotions and let the person know how you feel, whether or not the relationship's working for you, maybe the relationship's not, and make a decision to move forward. This right here, supermoon. Emotions are running high. So it looks like this has been a really emotional situation for you. And your high priestess is telling you that you have to move forward. Okay. So let's get you one more card. We're going to do Tau Oracle deck. So resoluteness, okay? So you have a monk here who has a stern, focused look. Okay, the number is 43. So this is determination, no compromising, unwavering focus, inner resolve, integrity, a test of character, and self-examination. So for some, this may mean that your relationship was a test and that it's made you stronger and that you're supposed to go forward with the wisdom similar to, i.e. the Queen of Swords, and make a new decision. For some, this also means that your relationship may be changing, and that you just got to look inside. And you see the monk has the firm, stern look. Okay? Now, my intuition says with the orange cloak that you need to make an action to change. Now, the monk is sitting there stern and he's not moving, but he's covered by change. So maybe this is something that you don't have any choice in because the change is coming whether you want it or not. All right. So I want to thank you for my pile number 2s. Thank you for sticking around. Please like, share, subscribe. And I'll see you again hopefully in the next reading. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and get ready to take care of my pile 3s. For my pile 3s, we have the Citrine. We have the Citrine Tower or Pyramid. Okay, and we're going to be using the Intuitive Night Goddess deck. Okay, so as I mentioned before with the other groups, I'm going to draw 8 cards. I'm going to see what your High Priestess is speaking to you. Okay, so we have 1. I'm going to take the rest. Oh, look at that. What is your High Priestess? 3. Alright, so far I see 2 7s. Okay, so your present energy. Nymph of Pentacles. Okay. Oh, these cards are jumping. Spirit's got a lot to say to you today. One more card with the outcome. Just give me one more card for the outcome. And so, let's see, you got a few cards for the outcome. One of the few groups that's happened, so we'll take it. So, might not have to clarify that one. Okay, so first we have the Empress. So this is your yin energy. So the Empress, okay, as you can see, this goddess has things growing all around them. Everything that they touch grows and expands. So in your mind right now, you might have a lot of different ideas. You might have a lot of different things that you can make come to fruition. And you've been saving these ideas. And now it's time to expand and put them on paper. If you're an artist, maybe draw them out. If you're a musician, sing them. You know, if you're a comedian, go on stage and let them all out. But right now, it shows that you're very fertile and that you have a lot of different things that whatever you touch is going to expand. Okay? So next we have, in your yang, is the Seven of Swords. Now the Seven of Swords in some cases could represent deception. But what I'm thinking from this is that this is you strategizing. You shouldn't tell everybody what you're getting ready to do. You know, with that 3 that you just got at the Empress, maybe you have a bunch of things in your mind that's good. But don't keep them in your mind. Get them out there. But don't really tell anybody what you're doing. Kind of get yourself in order, get yourself in line. Sevens, so this is the Seven of Swords. And swords have to do with the mind. 7 has to do with direction. 7 has to do with travels. So the sword that goes with the 7s is the Chariot. So with this is saying you need to get your thoughts in order and get them put together so that you'll be able to ride the chariot and kind of get to your destination. As you can see, there's 2 swords in the ground. There's 2 swords in one hand and 3 swords in the other. So with the 2 swords that's in the ground, you know, possibly you might have to meditate and ground yourself. Because just breaking this down, 2 swords usually represents indecision. So you might have a decision that you've been trying to make that you haven't been able to bring to the physical world since the 2 swords are in the ground. And you have the 2 swords in the left hand. The left hand usually is your receptive hand when it comes to the ethereal, the spiritual world. So on the 2 swords that you have there, you haven't been making a decision to trust yourself. And then the 3 of swords in your right hand, that right there shows that you might have had a bad experience. You might have had a heartbreak or someone's betrayed you. And that might be the thing that's lingering in your brain. And that's brought you to the 7 of swords. So don't tell everybody what you're doing. Get yourself planned. Maybe get your things ready. But in the yin, in your mind, you're very fertile. You have a lot that you could do. Get ready. Right? In your next position, this is in the past position. The past position here, we have the 7 of Cups. So the 7 of Cups represents not being sure what you want to do, having a lot of different options and a lot of different choices. Now, just going along with the 7 of Swords that we just saw, maybe in your mind, you have a lot of different options, a lot of different things that you want to do, but you haven't been able to do any of them just because you haven't actually set your goal or set your mind on exactly what you're looking to do. Now, if you look at this goddess, they look up basically to the universe. They're not sure. They have all these different cups with all of these different options. Now, with this deck, all the different options have different plants in them. Okay, they have different flowers and different things. There's one bowl that has crystals, and maybe that's the one for you. Maybe you might choose the carnation. Maybe you might choose the roses. But you have to make a decision and put all your energy into that one. And once you put that energy into the one, that will come into fruition. Now, similar to as I was mentioning with the 7 of Swords, cups have to do with your emotions. 7 has to do with action and has to do with direction. So once you get your emotions in line, you can kind of put all of your energy into it. The 7s come from the Chariot. And the Chariot means you're trying to balance different energies together so that you can get to a goal. Right? So make that choice, put all your energy into one thing, and that will get you to move forward. Okay? Next card in your presence, okay, is the Warrior of Swords. Okay? Now, when this fell out, it fell out sideways initially. It wasn't upside down, it was sideways. So what this is saying to me is that if you look at the Knight of Swords, you can see the Knight of Swords has the bunny, which means making quick decisions, because bunnies have to make quick decisions to live. If they don't move fast and if they don't think fast, an animal might get them and they might not live. Okay? Then the same thing is you have the antelope. The antelope moves quickly. And again, if the antelope doesn't move quickly, the lion will get it or the cheetah will get it and it will eat. You also have the sword ready, and then you have an asteroid going. An asteroid moves fast. Now this card came out sideways, so this might mean that you haven't been able to make those decisions and move fast to get what your actions are done. Now just looking at some of the previous cards that you did have, the Seven of Swords, you also have the Seven of Cups. Now those cards were showing that you were slowing yourself down. Now I would take the energy in your yin, which is the Empress, and use this to go forward, because the Empress has all kinds of energy and makes things grow. Whatever it touches, it's like the Midas touch, it turns to gold. So you might just want to be a little bit braver, which is usually what the Warrior of Swords represents, bravery. This is the fastest moving card on the deck. So in the deck, I think the only thing faster than this is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is like immediately, like right now. But this means move quickly and you'll be able to succeed. And this is in your present position. So if you work on this right away, it should be something that's beneficial for you. We have the Revolution card. Revolution card typically is the Devil card, but it's upside down. So this means that you've been able to get rid of those things. You've already started the revolution. Okay? Now, so the revolution, as you can see, this person has the wings that's holding them back, and they're waving their flag because they've started the revolution. Now, the devil card typically, or revolution, usually represents things that are holding you back, things that have you chained. But since this card came out upside down, this means that you are letting go of those chains, that your thought process is already winning. Right? Now, if you see here, this card's upside down, but you can see these kind of look like trees or like vines. So let that energy grow like vines, and let this energy continue to push you forward, because it looks like you've now gone out of that energy of questioning yourself. Okay. So the next one is outside influences. All right. So this is the Nymph of Pentacles. All right. Now in this picture, the nymph is actually in a field full of poisonous flowers and different things, and they're just not aware of this area, and they're not sure, but they're still moving forward because they want to get what they can to try to be successful. And so you want to take that energy that you can, even if in your environment things don't seem that they're comfortable and they seem toxic and the people around you seem like they're not helping you, and this is what's caused the revolution, this is what's giving you the Seven of Swords that you've had to kind of keep your thoughts to yourself, push forward. Right? Now, this is people, this is the influences, this is your action. So your action is the Nine of Swords. Now what I get from the Nine of Swords is, again, get out of your brain. The Nine of Swords represents somebody who's having a hard time sleeping. They're having a hard time getting their thoughts out and moving forward. So there's a lot of swords in this. So for me, this feels like you need to continue to push forward. As the card came out upside down, the revolution, you've started to change your mind process and move forward. And that should be your action. Try to get you some rest and get your energy up and make that move. Right. Now the outcome is unique energy. 4 cards came out. So the first card was the Moon. Second card, Ten of Swords. Next, you have the Spirit of Cups. And the next is the Queen of Cups. So what this shows to me here in the outcome, you have the Moon, which is controlled by water, and it's controlled by the moon cycles. Now, don't be afraid, because things are not going to be shown to you. And as you see, there's a domesticated dog and there's the wild dog. And this person that's in the white dress, which is supposed to represent purity, is kind of in between the two. And you have the crab, which is the bottom feeder, trying to move its way forward. Things are going to be hidden from you, or things are going to take their time before they show their face. And so you kind of have to make that decision on what you're going to do and take things slowly. You have the Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords is representative of things ending. So with the 10, you had things that really went bad for you in the past. Maybe you had people talking down to you, to not believing in you, not speaking to you well, not trusting you. But the 10 of Swords shows that this is the end. You have the Spirit of Cups, which is representative of the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups. So this is possibly saying that you have either you yourself have mastered the energy of the King of Cups, which is controlling all of your emotions and possibly showing other people how to control their emotions. And then you have the Queen of Cups, which is a person who's very psychic, very intuitive, believes in themselves, trusts in themselves. And there's a possibility that you've already mastered this. Okay? So that's something for your outcome, right? Things are going to be hidden from you, but it's the end of the Ten of Swords cycle. And now you have controlled energy, or possibly a divine connection with King and Queen of Swords. King and Queen of Cups. All right, so I'm just going to take some time and clarify some of the other cards here. All right. So we have the Empress. So the Empress is clarified by the Queen of Wands. So you see the Queen of Wands, they have this fire in their hand and they're amazed by it. This is something that they created, and in their mind they're saying, you know what, I made that. I'm going to do that. So it's good because the Empress, and this is in your yin situation, the Empress means you have a lot of different ideas that's in your brain. The Queen of Wands is a person who shows who they are, but they're not afraid to speak. They're not afraid to show their personality, and they're comfortable within themselves. Okay. So what do we have for the Yang, which is the Seven of Swords? Okay. So we have the 5. All right. So in the Yang action, you might have had some regret. You might have had people who are pecking at your brain, who are making you kind of question your own thoughts. Again, don't tell everybody what you're going to do. Strategize, plan, make it work for you. Okay. Let's clarify the 7 of Cups for you. All right. So the 7 of Cups is the Hangman, Queen of Cups, the Sun, and the 10 of Cups. All right. So this is a wonderful energy. So you're sitting there in indecision, but that indecision, all you have to do is just take a moment to meditate. Right now, as I mentioned, Neptune is in Pisces and Jupiter is in Pisces. So this is being a Neptune energy. Maybe this might come to you and you'll have the answer in March, or in Pisces season. Okay. The King of Cups is a person who can control their energy. Again, this also might be representative of another person. You also have in your outcome the King of Cups. So this might be representative of you controlling your energies and your emotions. You have the Sun. So things are going to work out. So for the most part, when it comes to your past, your thoughts that you had, all you have to do is just move forward. Okay, things are going to be bright. And then the ending, it's going to be 10 of Cups, happiness. Family happiness. You have the rainbow there, which is all the colors, which represents happiness and moving forward. Okay. All right, so for your future, you have the Warrior of Swords. Let's clarify that. Let's see, two flipped over. So you have the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups represents healing. This also represents love. And so this also represents another opportunity to show your emotions. So with this Warrior of Swords, get your emotions straight, then heal up, and you'll be able to run forward and be able to take advantage of the situation. The Warrior of Swords or the Warrior of the Swords or the Knight of Swords is brave. So this might be just you healing your heart and giving confidence in yourself to be able to move forward. All right, so I'm going to clarify the Revolution upside down, which represents your influences, your outside influences. So those bad thoughts are gone. So you can see their face in the sunlight, things are going to work out for them. The Ten of Swords represents the ending. And this is also in your placement for outside influences. So don't let any more outside influences influence you. You got all the power to make your decision and walk towards the light. Mm-hmm. Let's clarify for so people who might give you influence. You're the Page of Swords, the Emperor, and Death. This is dope and energy. So with this energy I see here, you have the Page of Swords, the Emperor, and Death. So what this means is that you're gonna get a bright idea that's gonna make you feel like you're floating on a cloud. You're gonna do some research on this, and this is gonna help you to boss up. You see how the boss has to keep the chess piece in his hand, be able to make those decisions. The red means take action, move forward. Yellow also means action and passion. Now the Death card, the Death doesn't mean death per se. This means that it's going to change who you are. So if you're looking at the person in the hood, you can't see who they are because they're going to change and morph into something new. But you can see the light in the background, and the light's coming through the trees. So do some research, which is going to help you get into that boss up energy, which is going to help you change. Okay? And this is the people who are going to help you. Okay? Possibly, this might be a sword, which is a Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. The Emperor is an Aries, or it could be a Scorpio helping you, or this could represent you doing that research to figure out how to make yourself a boss and transfer yourself and change and transform. Okay, so we'll clarify action. Okay. All right, so the star, this represents healing. So you see how the person has their wishes connected to the stars, and it's connected, they're holding it daily to their heart. So just like I mentioned, with this Nine of Swords, get out of your mind, get yourself some sleep, follow your dreams. Okay? So the nine of Swords, this is a person who can't sleep. This is a card of someone who's believing in their dreams. And you can't dream unless you get some sleep. So hold this tight to your heart and follow the string, and it'll make it to your future. All right? And this clarified itself. All right? So I'm just going to get you 2 moon cards. From the Moonology deck. We'll get you 1 Tower Oracle card. So the first one, expect powerful change. Adjustments are required. So you have expect powerful change, which is a new moon eclipse. And then you have adjustments are required. So just as I mentioned here, so adjustments that might be required, that might be you having to do the research to give you that bright idea so that you become the boss and transfer yourself. And that might be part of those adjustments that are needed. Okay. And then for the towel, so we have for you here. All right. So to continue, so we have the Revolution card. We have Revolution in the Oracle. Right? Now, this Revolution card shows a phoenix that's burning and coming out of the ashes, and it's leaving the old person. And if you see some of the characteristics of this, 49 add together is 13. And 13 is the Death card. Okay? So it's funny because this card is about transformation. It's about a radical change, giving up the old to make way for the new, and making a quantum leap. So this is Spirit's way of just confirming that you're going to have to make some changes into that new person. Boss up, get the information, do some research. But this card definitely hits home with the Revolution card, and then the Revolution card, and then the Revolution. And then 4 and 9 are 13, and this is 13. So you can see that transformation, everything goes. And you can see the red goes with the phoenix rising from the ashes. All right? All right, so that's what I have for you, pile 3. Thank you for spending your time with me. This is actually my first video, so I'm glad that you guys took some time to watch. I hope that you guys like, subscribe, and share. And I'm going to leave my contact information inside in the notes if you decide that you want a private reading, or also if you want to just donate to help with the page. But I do hope to see you guys again in the future. Take care. Peace.